Still no score. Kong-suk attempting the throw. So too Vieira. No way past the defence of Kong-suk so far. Couldn't get the trip. Now he's looking to apply an armbar, but still no way past Kong-suk, who has been dogged in his resistance. Again, loses the neatness of his gi. Just shows the strength that Vieira is attempting to put on him. Vieira, by contrast, looks like he's not been in a fight unruffled, composed. 34-year-olds from Portugal claimed a silver medal at the German Open in Heidelberg a few years ago. Seasoned competitor. Seventh at the European Championships in Lisbon, in his home country in 2015. Vieira looks like he's got holds. Clock ticks. Can Kong-suk escape? 10 seconds, 11. This is going to do it, I think, for Miguel Vieira. Wazari already. It will be Ippon in a matter of moments. There it is for Miguel Vieira, who eventually breaks through the defences of a really tough Vitun Kong-suk of Thailand. Impressive work from the Portuguese, who advances through. So Vieira takes the win. And he really had to work hard for that against the 28th seed Vitun Kong-suk. And we are about to see the women's 48s. Next up on tatami 2. In the white judogi is Li King of China. Paralympic champion in Rio 2016. Against Ponapatongsi of Thailand. And the hold is in from Lee King. Ten seconds scores the Wazari. And that is an impressive display from the Paralympic champion, ranked 7th in this tournament. She will be hoping to go the distance. The Asian champion, the world champion, and the Paralympic champion has started with a bang here in Fort Wayne. Ponapatongsi, very respectful in defeat. But Lee King with a tremendous start to her campaign for the win here in Fort Wayne. We'll stick with the women's 48 kilo division. Next we have our first Brazilian of the day, Julia Pereira. Just making her way into the main hall here in Fort Wayne. She's coming up against Kailin Lee of Chinese Taipei. Kailin Lee in the blue. Julia Pereira of Brazil in the white. Pereira recently 7th in Baku at the Grand Prix, that just a month ago. Back in May. She's coming up against an experienced campaigner here in Kailin Lee, who, despite her rank, very, very dangerous competitor. Bronze at the World Championships in Lisbon last year. 5th in Rio at the Paralympics. She was silver in London back in 2012. She has been a world champion before as well, back in Antalya in 2010. Truly international flavour here in Fort Wayne. This is the biggest international event the second biggest city of the state of Indiana has ever held. Big local presence in its volunteer court. Wazari for Kailin Lee as she locks in the holds. 4 seconds away from securing the victory. And there it is. Ippon for the Taipei athlete. And a good start to her campaign as well. Julia Pereira. Beaten in round 1 in the 48s here. A good win there. Mikaelin Lee takes the hand of her coach. And she'll be satisfied with her start. An impressive performance. Next up is Paola Karina Gomez from Argentina against the Japanese judoka Sawa Shimada. Paola Karina Gomez, a B1 athlete. Shimada, B3. Gomez seeded 8th in this tournament. Has achieved a bronze medal at a major international in her career previously. We're back in 2011 at the Parapan Games in Guadalajara. Sawa Shimada, meanwhile, not quite at the international medal winning level just yet. Interestingly, speaking of our last fighter, Mikaelin Lee of Taipei, herself and Sawa Shimada met last year at the World Championships. That was the bout that saw Shimada exit the main draw. Gomez in a defensive position, nothing Shimada can do to break through. Got a great lineup here in Fort Wayne. After this, we'll be greeting the men's 66 kilo division. And the ippon called for Paola Gomez of Argentina. Beautiful work. And a smile on the face of the South American. And Sawa Shimada exits in the first round here in Fort Wayne. As you can see, we are into round 2 in the 66 kilo division. David Karava in the white against Jingshin Ma. Karava, the Paralympic champion in London and the bronze medalist in Rio at the Paralympic Games, a seasoned competitor. And already all over Jingxin Ma of China. Carava won the German Open in Heidelberg earlier on this year in March. Only 5th though in Baku at the recent Grand Prix. Really working Ma here is Carava. B2 athlete, in fact both of these judoka are in the B2 classification. Ma couldn't get the trip and goes into defensive mode. David Carava, ranked number 2 in the world, number 1 in this tournament, first seed. Ukraine's such a prestigious and established Paralympic nation. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful work from David Carava, who dumps Jingxin Ma for Rippon. Eventually found the way through Ma's defences, and Carava is off and away in this tournament. Potentially a point to prove at next year's Paralympic Games in Tokyo for the Ukrainian. We stick with the under 66ers. Next up, Recep Çiftçi of Turkey against Nuno Rocha of Portugal. Number 5th seed versus the number 29 seed, Çiftçi, the 5th seed. He was the bronze medalist in Baku in May. And that was in the 60 kilo division. So just wonder if Çiftçi potentially missed weight when he's fighting up a category. Either way, it'll be really interesting to see how he goes. Usually a 60 kilo fighter. He has fought at 66 before. But Çiftçi, you can see, immediately all over Rocha of Portugal. Already has the Wazari to his name. Looking to put the choke on the Portuguese. Couldn't quite break through on that occasion. Recep Çiftçi. Çiftçi working from his back. Let's say caught. They'll reset. Chifchi, as you can see, the smaller man in terms of height by quite some margin, almost a whole head shorter than Nuno Rocha. But if there's anything the sport of judo teaches, it's that size really doesn't matter. Chifchi already a Wazari up. He nearly got himself another there. I think he thought he had, just in a glance over at the scoreboard. Seems a touch disgruntled, the Turkish judoka. Two and a half minutes left of the bout. Oh, that's nice. And close to finishing the contest. Chifchi here just has the air of someone with a bit of frustration about him. He was a European bronze medalist a couple of years ago. Once again, that was in the 60 kilo division. Oh, that's beautiful work. Beautiful work. Straight over for Ripon, and that'll do it for Recep Çiftçi of Turkey. That's a primary example of what I was saying about using the opponent's size against them. The old adage of the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Never truer than in judo. You know, Rocha just lost his balance for a fraction of a second. Çiftçi got the trip and secured the win. We'll stick with the 66ers for the time being. Munkbat Ajim of Mongolia is on his way to the mat. And he'll take on Luis Daniel Gavian Lorenzo, who we did see earlier. He took out Conor Anders in round one. The Mongolian in the white gi. Gavian Lorenzo in the blue. No reset. Eventually, Mate called. I think both judokas were waiting for that. But Ajim, a very experienced fighter, took the bronze medal in Baku at the recent Grand Prix. He is seeded third in this tournament. And he has a Wazari to his name. Gavian Lorenzo in defensive mode. And he just about clings on to his status in this fight. And that'll do it for Munkbat Ajim of Mongolia, the bronze medalist at the Asian Para Games last year. Potentially on the rise as we head towards Tokyo. Ajim takes the win over Spain's Luis Daniel Gavian Lorenzo. Second round continues in the 66 kilo division. Marlon Lopez of the USA is up in the white gi. Junhui Lee of Korea in the blue. Now Marlon Lopez has been going a very, very long time. The bronze medalist from Atlanta. That's right, the Paralympic Games in 1996. 43 years old now, the American judoka. Took the bronze in Sydney 4 years later. 7th in Athens in 2004. Is he going to make it all the way to Tokyo 16 years after his last games? What a story that would be. He's off and running. And through round two, that's for sure. Marlon Lopez taking the victory here, Ippon, in the opening minute of the fight over Junhui Lee of Korea. Almost ready to go for our next one. This sees Georgia versus Argentina. Eduardo Galto of Argentina. Georgi Gamzashvili of Georgia. Gamzashvili, 5th at the Grand Prix in Baku. World Championships bronze medalist in Lisbon last year. Eduardo Gauto, 31-year-old, has got some pedigree as well. Silver last year at the Pan Am Championships in Calgary, in Canada. Silver too at the Parapan Games in Toronto in 2015. These here, in terms of pedigree at least, two pretty evenly matched fighters. Khamzashvili earns himself a Judo, 3 of those. And the win goes to his opponent.
Next up on tatami number 1, 52 kilogram, first round action in the white from China, Li Yangqing. In the blue from Brazil, Carla Cardoso. Your center referee on mat number 1, Mr. Janos Guillermo.
These two evenly matched so far. First minute down.
Now up on mat number 3, 73 kilograms, second round action in the white from Lithuania, Los Malas Barikis. In the blue from the USA, Anthony Ferraro.
Oh, beautiful. Wazari for the Argentine. Coach loved that one. In the coach's box. Very excited indeed. Khamzashvili just confirming the state of this bout with our officials. Bit of conversation between the official in the middle and the table.
Your winner on mat number 3 in the white from Lithuania, Los Malas Barikis.
Looks like we're good to resume. 2.5 minutes remain. Gauto up by Wazari. Gauto at B1 athlete, totally blinds. Khamzashvili, a B2 judoka. Gauto, aggressive. Khamzashvili has the arm over the shoulder, looking for the trip. Gauto potentially in a little bit of trouble here. Tried to reverse it. Judo now for Eduardo Gauto. trip right from the start by Khamzashvili, who tries to isolate the arm of Gauto here. He could be in a little bit of trouble. He survives. So both judoka with a Shido apiece. Only one with a Wazari though, and that's Eduardo Gauto of Argentina in the blue. Khamzashvili has the grip on the back. Just appears a touch frustrated at the moment. Khamzashvili. So you can see what it's taking out of the Georgian judoka.
Your winner on tatami number 3 in the white from Brazil, Luan Pimentel.
Almost goes without saying in elite level sport, but it's especially true with judo. If you've never witnessed it before, the amount of strength and fitness required to participate in this sport is astronomical. Arm muscles, leg muscles, the core at full power and extension as soon as the grip starts. Multiple bouts a day. Conditioning is so important. Second Shido for Eduardo Gauto. Has to be careful, another one, and he'll forfeit the fight, despite being 1-0 up on the points, courtesy of that Wazari. Final 30 seconds then. Khamzashvili maybe needs something to happen. Either a mistake from Gauto or a move from himself. Gauto will be happy to run the clock. 15 seconds remain. But he has to be careful. Shidos are often given for a lack of attacking movement, and another Shido. And that's the fight over in favour of his opponent. It's a really interesting final 15 seconds we've got coming up here. Gauto can't relax. And in fact, it looks like that is exactly what he's been penalised for. 3 Shidos for Gauto. Equals an Ippon for Khamzashvili, who eventually takes the win in a really enthralling fight there. 2 very evenly matched judoka. And a very, very close matchup. But it is the Georgian, Georgi Khamzashvili, who eventually takes a very tough victory. The number 2 seed beats the number 10. He really had to work hard for it. So Robert Tanaka, who we saw a little bit earlier on, with a pretty comfortable win in the first round against Kadir Yildirim of Turkey, is here in the second against Luis Perez Diaz of Puerto Rico. Perez Diaz, experienced judoka. Robert Tanaka, his work cut out for him here. 30th seed versus the 6th seed in round 2. Perez Diaz has tasted victory in an international event before. At the Pan Am Championships in Calgary last year, he was the gold medalist. 7th in Rio in 2016. Bronze at the Parapan Games in Toronto the year prior. Shido given to both judoka. Not having enough attacking motivation. In fact, the referee has taken away the Shido from Perez Diaz. Tanaka then with the Shido to his name. Well, if you are just joining us on the stream, a very good morning to you. We're an hour underway in Fort Wayne, Indiana, USA, for this IBSA International Qualifier ahead of next year's Paralympic Games in Tokyo. Both goalball and judo are here this week in Fort Wayne. Over 600 athletes and staff from over 40 countries are here in Indiana's second city. And if you are watching, let us know where you are watching. We'd love to hear from you. Use the hashtag to support your athletes and help spread the word. Hashtag IBSA Fort Wayne 2019. Stephen Jameson here with you, and a pleasure to be with you as well. Covering Tatami 2 here in the Judo Hall today. Tanaka has been really dogged against a very experienced fighter in Perez Diaz. Had some good results, Tanaka, this year. 3rd in the VI Judo, in the VI German Open, rather, I should say, in Heidelberg in March. 7th in the Grand Prix in Baku. 30th seed might be a touch misleading for the American. Certainly has been an evenly matched contest so far. A minute and a half remains. Both judokas so far cancelling each other out. Beautiful work from Robert Tanaka. Who defeats Luis Perez Diaz of Puerto Rico. Tanaka advances, and he looks like a judoka to watch in this competition. On home soil, the American impresses through the first 2 rounds of this 66 kilo division. That was beautiful work. Next up, we see another of the judoka we've already had the pleasure of watching today. That's Miguel Vieira of Portugal. And here he takes on Kazakhstan's Azamat Turumbatov. Turumbatov, the silver medalist at last year's Asian Para Games in Jakarta. 7th in Baku at the most recent Grand Prix. Vieira was impressive in his victory earlier on against the really dogged Vitun Kongsuk of Thailand. But in Turumbatov, he faces an altogether different level of challenger here. Turumbatov seeded 4th in this competition.
Next up on tatami number 1, 52 kilogram first round action.
And don't forget, if you'd like to watch the action on some of our other mats here in the Judo Hall, both mat 1 and mat 3 are also being streamed live, as well as Turumbatov secures the win. That's lovely work from the Kazakhstan athlete. Miguel Vieira will exit the competition in the main draw. Really smooth from Azamat Turumbatov. Lovely throw. The action continues unabated. Next up is Spain versus Mongolia. And more accurately, Sergio Ibanez Banyon against Shulunsuk Galbadrak. Shulunsuk Galbadrak seeded 32. In this competition, and it's a lightning start for the Mongolian. Already a Wazari up on Ibanez Banyon. Who seems to be caught a little bit cold. Something that can happen in VI Judo because they start gripped up. Fights can be over in a matter of moments. Ibanez Banyon evens up the scores. A Wazari apiece. Next one wins. It's essentially golden score at this point. There's no feeling each other out here. Both are going for it straight away. Some of Ibanez, his supporters, think that should have been a win. Imploring the referee to give a Wazari. None was forthcoming. Ibanez Banyon, a regular judoka at the 60 kilo division. Not often he's fought at 66. He was the silver medalist at the European Championships at 60 kilos a couple of years ago. Mate Colt. Oh, Chilenchuk Galbajak has looked very dangerous. Still lots of time left in this bout. I have a suspicion it won't come to that. These two have been so aggressive, constantly looking for the point that will give either one of them the victory. Galbajak on the back of Ibanez. Trying to wrench him clear of his defensive position. Still loads of time left in this one. Not even at the halfway point yet. And after a rapid start where both judoka secured a Wazari early on. It's got a little bit tighter. They both know what's at risk. One mistake, the smallest of mistakes, could lose them the fight. Shido given to Galbadrak and to Ibanez there for not taking the grip correctly. Ibanez now really is treading the high wire. 2 Shidos against him. Another only loses the bout. The Spanish in the crowd want the Wazari for Ibanez there. But again, nothing forthcoming. This is on a knife edge. Place in round 3, up for grabs. It's really, really good use of his legs there from Galbadrak. Thought that was going to look like at least a Wazari, possibly more from Ibanez, but he just got his legs underneath him. Stopped himself landing on his back. That would have been fight over. But the hold's in. Only needs 10 seconds. And Ibanez gets it. Galbadrak tried everything to break. But Ibanez had to work so hard in that contest. But eventually, he secures his second Wazari to take the victory against a really game Chulunsuk Galbadrak of Mongolia. That was a great fight. Should be a belter coming up for you, incidentally. We head back to the 48 kilos for the women, and we're into the quarterfinals. Yulia Halinska of Ukraine, the #1 seed. Bronze medalist in Rio at the last Paralympic Games. Bronze medalist in London as well. 5th all the way back in Beijing in 2008. Won the German Open this year in Heidelberg back in March. A slightly underwhelming performance, taking 5th in Baku. What has Halinska got in store for us today against Shizuka Hangai of Japan herself? Very experienced competitor on the international stage. 5th in Rio. She took the bronze medal in Heidelberg in the same competition that Yulia Halinska was victorious. These two meeting in a quarter-final. It's great to see. Wazari for Halinska. Looking to secure the holds. No way through. But Halinska is the Judoka with the point to her name. Very nearly a second there. Hangai just about maneuvered her body into a defensive position, but Halinska here trying to secure an arm lock on Hangai, but she defends it well. Hangai, a B1 athlete. See that by the red dot on her arm. Not just the Japanese flag, also an indicator of her impairment. Halinska again looking for the throw. Hangai mounts the back. But Halinska takes the second Wizari and the Ippon. That follows to advance through to the semi-finals in the 48 kilo division.
Result on mat number 2, 48 kilogram quarterfinal action. Winner from Ukraine, Yulia Halinska. Now up on mat number 3.
Yulia Halinska, such an experienced campaigner on the international circuit. European champion as well. Advances through to the semi-finals here in Fort Wayne.
60 kilogram quarterfinal action in the white from Kazakhstan, Olsa Arazuyuli. In the blue from Mongolia, Yadav George Sukhmatar. Center referee for the contest, Mr. Vasily Smolin.
So Li King is backing action here. We saw her in the previous rounds. She took out Ponapa Tongsri of Thailand to get to this stage. Very, very impressively did so as well. She takes on Carmen Brusic of Germany. Hugely experienced international campaigner. She's been competing since before the turn of the millennium. 42-year-old now, Carmen Brusic, silver medalist in Rio at the last Paralympic Games. European bronze medalist in Warsaw. And this year, her only international result has been at the German Open in Heidelberg, where she claimed a silver medal. Li King, the Paralympic champion. This is a fantastic quarterfinal fight. Really, really high caliber matchup here. A repeat of the Paralympic gold medal match. These two know each other so well. And at the minute, there's only a Shido between them. That's Lee who has that. Just about completed our first minute of the 4. These two have cancelled each other out so far.
Your winner on tatami number 1, 60-kilogram quarterfinal action in the white from Kazakhstan, Bozat
Carmen Brusic, whilst she was the silver medalist in Rio behind Li King, she has been a Paralympic champion. She was the gold medalist in London in 2012. Both athletes in the B2 classification. You can see behind the mat there at the back of your shot, plenty of interest in this one. Oh, wow, and just like that, Li King wins it via ippon right out of the grip. And Carmen Brusic is defeated once again by Li King in a repeat of the Paralympic gold medal matchup. Li King once again gets the better of the German Carmen Brusic. And that was a beautiful throw. Just seemed to catch Carmen a touch cold. Straight out of the grip once the fight had resumed. Magnificent work from Li King, who advances through to the semi-finals. Well, I believe she will face Yulia Helinska of the Ukraine, and that will be a fantastic matchup. We continue with the quarterfinals. Next up is Taipei's Kailin Lee against Ecem Tashin of Turkey. This again a high-level contest. We spoke a little about Kailin Lee earlier on this morning. She was really, really impressive in her victory over Julia Pereira. Kailin Lee in the blue, Tashin in the white.
Silver sponsors who contributed to this event: Parkview Sports Medicine, Summit City Chevrolet, and Ambassador Enterprises. Be sure to keep up your media posts. Use hashtag IBSA Fort Wayne 2019. That's hashtag
Mate Colt. Kailin Lin, or Kailin Lee, I should say. The silver medalist from London in 2012. And she was defeated by Carmen Brusic. She was 5th in Rio at the last Paralympic Games. Ecem Tashin. is the bronze medalist from Rio. Seeded second in this tournament. So far though, it's mainly been the Taipei athlete who has had the degree of control.
Tomorrow we'll be fighting the other 7 divisions beginning tomorrow morning. And then
Hasn't really looked close to securing a Wazari
we have the team
so far.
competition.
Lee, neither has Tashin,
Men and women, it'll be a fun time on Friday.
but Lee's been much more active, more controlling with the movement.
With the team competitions in Friday Judo.
Both of these judoka still really in their fighting prime. 28 is Tashin, 26 Kailin Lee. She was just 19 when she won that silver medal in London. Been a really, really even contest so far. Kailin Lee has picked up a Judo.
New winner out of 53. In the white from Kazakhstan, Terzan Aliyev.
Still no splitting. These two judoka. Minute and 38 left of the contest. Tashin just has to tidy up her gi.
Next up on mat number 3, in the white from Lithuania, Osvaldas Vareikis. In the blue from Brazil, Luan Pimentel. Here's the referee, Mr. Eduardo Garcia. Result, mat number 1, 60
And
kilograms.
we're ready to resume.
Action, your winner in the white from Kazakhstan, Anwar Sariev.
Tashin with the top position on Lee. She's looking to manufacture something here. Kailin Lee was strong though. Wouldn't allow her to do so. Both fighters starting to breathe a little heavily here. Lee takes on some instruction from her coach in the blue coach's box just at the back of the mat.
Now on tatami number 1, 52-kilogram quarterfinal action in the white from Ukraine, Ina Cherniak.
Both attempting throws, but Tashin is successful. Wazari on the board for the Turkish judoka. And now Kailin Lee has not got a lot of time here to reverse this predicament that she finds herself in. 31 seconds on the watch for Kailin Lee of Taipei. Expect Kylie Lee to come out all guns blazing here. 21 seconds, or 19 seconds remains on the clock. Tashin looking to close this one out. Kylie Lee needs something special. Final 10 seconds. When they resume, Kylie Lee will have 7 seconds with which to work with. She's getting a lot of instruction from her coach at the far side of the mat. Tashin earns herself a second Shido. She can't earn a third, remember. Otherwise the fight will go the other way. And that'll do it. Tashin holds on and secures the victory over Kylie Lee of Taipei. The Wazari in the second half of the contest. Just about enough, just about, for Ecem Tashin of Turkey to claim a very marginal win over Kylie Lee. 2 Paralympic medalists going head to head there from different games. And it's Tashin who emerges victorious to move on to the semi-final. Our final quarter-final then in the women's 48 kilo category is Saint-Germain Aurier Martinet in the white against Paula Carina Gomez of Argentina. Saint-Germain Martinet, the reigning Paralympic champion. And she makes light work of Paola Gomez of Argentina. First time we've seen Saint-Germain Martinet so far. And the hugely talented judoka with an incredible Paralympic record is through to the semi-finals here in Fort Wayne. Silver in Athens, silver in Beijing, 5th in London, gold in Rio 3 years ago now. She's on the trek to Tokyo. And she'd love to repeat the trick in Japan. That concludes us for the 48s for now. We'll be back this afternoon with the semi-finals and final. For now, though, we return to the men's 66 division. David Korova looked superb earlier on. Looked so strong. He's the #1 seed in this tournament. The reigning European champion. Paralympic bronze medalist in Rio as well. He takes on Recep Çiftçi of Turkey, who we mentioned usually fights at a lower weight class. He is the European bronze medalist in the 60 kilos. He has fought at 66 before. Fought at 60 most recently in Baku. He does like to mix it up. Doesn't have quite the height differential that he had in his last fight, but that was so impressive from David Korova of Ukraine. Magnificent throw. Çiftçi lost his grip and Korova, didn't he make him pay. Spectacular rip-on from the Ukrainian, who moves into the semi-finals in the blink of an eye. That is how quickly a fight can be decided.
Next up on mat number 2, 66 kilogram quarterfinal matchup in the white from Mongolia,
And away we go with our next quarterfinal in the 66ers. This is Munkbat Ajim of Mongolia up against Marlon Lopez of the USA. Ajim was the bronze medalist in Baku just over a month ago, but I barely had time to get that one out. That is over in 5 seconds. Marlon Lopez thrown for Ippon in spectacular fashion by the Mongolian Munkbat Ajim. That was magnificent. And Marlon Lopez, the experienced campaigner from the USA, fought in the Paralympics back in Atlanta in '96, is dispatched within moments of that quarter-final getting underway. That was magnificent from Munkbat Ajim of Mongolia. Just one more bout to bring you from this second mat here in Fort Wayne. For the time being, and it will be Robert Tanaka, who has looked fantastic so far, the American. But he's up against a really, really good opponent in Hyoki Kamjashvili of Georgia. Bronze medal at the World Championships last year. 5th at the Grand Prix in Baku. Robert Tanaka was 7th in Baku. He's had a fantastic run to this round. Took out Luis Perez Diaz in the last rounds. Kadir Yildirim in the first round. And now Tanaka faces his toughest test in the quarterfinal here against the Georgian Khamzashvili. Seeded second in this tournament. Khamzashvili wrenching Tanaka this way and that. Tanaka strong in his resistance though. Georgi Khamzashvili snuck by Eduardo Gauto in the last round. In the closing moments, that contest was incredibly close. Right, Khamzashvili looks in supreme condition. So go again. Almost straight after, it feels like. Judo given to Khamzashvili of Georgia. Khamzashvili looking for the throw. Wazari is gifted to the Georgian. That was lovely work. Second Judo has been given though to Khamzashvili here, so he has to be careful, the Georgian. He'll want to get this contest over and done with a Wazari before a Judo can catch up with him. One more Judo, and the result goes Tanaka's way. Tanaka has enjoyed a really good year so far, a breakout year. Bronze medal at the German Open in Heidelberg in March, 7th in the Grand Prix in Baku in May. And is that the second Wazari? Yes, it is. On the man who beat Tanaka at the Grand Prix in Baku in May, Georgi Khamzashvili does the same again. Great performance from the Georgian, who once again gets the better of Robert Tanaka. These two have met a couple of times before. Tanaka yet to get the better of the Georgian, who makes his way through to the semi-final in the 66 kilo category. I've got one more quarter-final to come then. In the 66ers, Azamat Turumbatov, who was so impressive in his victory earlier on, The Kazakhstani takes on the Spaniard, Sergio Ibanez. Tsurumbatov, the 4th seed in this one. Ibanez had a really, really close matchup in his last fight against Chulunsuk Galbajak of Mongolia. Tsurumbatov got by Miguel Vieira of Portugal without too much difficulty, in truth. Tsurumbatov was also in Baku. He ended up in 7th place in that competition. That event in Baku was really well attended in Azerbaijan by both athletes and spectators alike. Fabulous venue out in Baku as well. Once again, it looks like Ibanez might be in for another very close scrap here. It was the same in his last contest. And that went right down to the wire. Might have to go there again. And Tsurumbatov gets himself a Shido. And just as he was giving it, that Shido is then wiped out by our official. We are as you were. Two and a half remain in the contest. Ibanez in the blue. Wazari for Ibanez. Turumbatov looks like he just had a little check of the scoreboard there. He's a B3 athlete. Likewise, Ibanez. This can mean a few things, but usually B3 classification is for those athletes with no peripheral vision and limited central vision as well. Ibanez felt that one. He's in a bit of pain. Seems to be feeling his right hand and wrist area. Just conversing with his coach. It's a tough sport, this. Signals to the referee is okay to continue. Official just conferring with the judges' table here. There's a short delay. Meanwhile, one of Ibanez's Spanish teammates secures a big win over on mat number 1. If you'd like to view one of the other mats, they are being streamed live on the IBSA YouTube channel, as well as the United States Association of Blind Athletes channel as well, or USABA for short. If you are watching, let us know where you're watching from and who you're supporting. Use the hashtag IBSA Fort Wayne 2019. So we have a review on mat 2. I can confirm that's the reason for the delay. Video review is available for all mats, and it looks like we are just about ready to get back underway. Nothing has changed on the scoreboard, so it looks like the original decision was upheld. Ibanez still leads by a Wazari. Turumbatov held totally in the air there by Sergio Ibanez. Minute left. Ibanez once again involved in another very close affair. Ibanez does have some very decent pedigree. He was the silver medalist at the European Championships in Warsaw. That was in the 60 kilo division, though. He's since made a step up here to 66. Fought all of 2018, barring one event, in the 60 kilo division. Whether he intends to stay in this division is unclear. "17 seconds for the Spaniard to hold on. Tsunumbatov trying everything. And see the Kazakhstani athlete starting to feel the pace a bit here. Hands on his knees. Breathing hard. Ibanez just adjusting his gi. 17 seconds remain. Tsunumbatov immediately looked for the throw. Ibanez defends. Final 5 seconds. And he's going to do it, Ibanez. He holds on to secure the victory in the quarterfinal of the men's 66 kilo division. Great performance from Ibanez, who really had to work hard, and he sets up a semi-final meeting with Georgi Khamzashvili of Georgia. That should be a cracker. Next up is a matchup in the repechage for the women's 48 kilo division, as Ponapa Tongsri takes on Carmen Brusig. And this looks like a walkover. Although looks like our officials are asking for this to be held to allow time for our athlete to be called, Ponapa Tongsri. It's the second call for her. She doesn't turn up, and Brusig will simply claim a walkover victory in the repechage. And can confirm it is going to be a walkover victory for Carmen Brusig, who advances in the repechage. Tongsri electing not to compete there, so a simple enough victory for Brusik, who moves forward. It's semi-final time. And this should be a real cracker. What a contest in store here. Li King in the blue gi. The Paralympic champion in the women's 48 kilo division. Up against Yulia Helinska of Ukraine. Should be a really good fight, this, between two enormously talented judoka. This for a place in the final. Helinska was the bronze medalist in Rio.
Now on mat number 3, 73 kilogram rapid charge match. In the white from Spain, David Garcia Rosco. In the blue from Georgia,
These two haven't met too many times. They didn't meet in Rio. The only record that I can see is a World Cup event in Colorado. That was all the way back in 2014. Li King won that encounter. So much has changed since. By contrast, Helinska has 8 recorded international fights with Carmen Brusik, but she was beaten by Li King in the quarterfinal. So these two high caliber judoka battling it out for a place in the final here in Fort Wayne. These two haven't met many times before, and a big part of that is Li King's general activity. Doesn't fight very often internationally. It's brilliant to see her here at this competition in Fort Wayne. She has secured the first Wazari against Helinska with that throw a few moments ago. So Li King with the advantage.
And your winner, on mat number 3 from Georgia,
Li King has been more active already this year. She was in Baku, in Azerbaijan at the Grand Prix. Ended up finishing in second place in that competition. She was beaten by the home favourite, Shahana Halieva. The Paralympic champion with a Wazari to her name here against Julia Helinska. Helinska nearly securing a throw there on Li King Lee. Helinska, the reigning European champion, two-time Paralympic bronze medalist. Both athletes in the B2 classification. It's been pretty even so far. Li King Lee with the only point of the matchup at this stage, courtesy of a Wazari via throw. Helinska picks herself up a Shido. They're all square on the Shido count. But Li King at the minute holds the advantage. Long way to go though. Over a minute and a half, which in judo is a very, very long time. .70 seconds remain in this semi-final. Helinska with fantastic positional awareness there to avoid the Wazari. She has herself a decent position here. She's working hard, but no way through the defenses of Li King. The clock continues to tick down. There is a reason Li King is the defending Paralympic champion. It looks like we're going to have a Shido here. Officials table just conferring. With the man in the middle. Nothing's changed on the scoreboard. We are as you were. And that'll do it. Second Wazari for Li King. And the Paralympic champion moves on to the final in Fort Wayne. Julia Helinska is defeated. Two Wazaris via throw for Li King. And the two-time Paralympic bronze medalist from Ukraine, Yulia Helinska, will have to settle for a bronze medal here in Fort Wayne as well. Terrific performance from China's Li King. We'll have the second semi-final in the women's 48s in just a few moments. Sandrine Martinet of France in the blue gi. Ecem Tashin of Turkey in the white.
Number 2, 48 kilograms, semi-final action in the white.
Sandrine Martinet, a legend of the sport.
In the blue from France, Sandrine Ariel Martinet, your center referee, Arthur Pando.
Been competing at Paralympics since 2004 in Athens. Defeated twice in Paralympic finals in Athens and in Beijing before eventually claiming her gold medal in Rio at the third time of asking. Those are all in the 52 kilo division. Since moved down to 48, Sandrine Martinet claimed a bronze medal in Baku at the recent Grand Prix. As she faces new challenges.
Mr. Andrew Best.
These two have met twice before. Both last year. With Martinet getting the better of Tashim in the World Championships in Lisbon. Martinet ended that competition in the bronze medal position. How she would love to go to Tokyo and compete for a second Paralympic gold medal in a different weight class.
Charge matchup, your winner from Brazil, Lucia Araujo.
Martinet, enormously capable in that World Championships where she ended in the bronze medal position. She took out Yulia Helinska and Li King on her way through to the semi-final. There's been nothing between these two so far, though. We're approaching the halfway stage. Ecem Tashin with a Judo to her name. But otherwise, it's still on as even. Tashin just adjusting her gi before we continue.
Your winner on mat number 3.
Tashin got the better of the Taipei athlete Kylin Lee in the last rounds. Matinee got the better of Paula Carina Gomez of Argentina. And still nothing between them as we head into the second half of this one. 1:47 left, still a long way to go.
In the white, from Romania, Florin Boluga. In the blue, from Brazil, Diego Marquez. Your center referee, Mr. Ryan Fujimoto.
Tashin picks up her second Shido. Now has to be careful. One more will see the victory go to Sanjay Matinee. Chen Tashin in the B1 category is distinguishable with the red dot on her arm.
Now up on mat number 3, 73 kilogram semi-final matchup. In the white, from Germany,
Matinee with the trip.
in the blue, from Ukraine, Rufat Mahomedov.
I think Mate is the call from
Mr. Vincent Leroy.
the official. Some of the spectators looking for a Wazari. It's not forthcoming though. Meanwhile, Martinet herself has picked up a Shido. So we head towards the final minute of this contest.
Now up on mat number 1, we have 2 players from Kazakhstan, 60 kilogram semi-final match. In the white, from Kazakhstan, Ozat Abazarguli. In the blue, from Kazakhstan, Anwar Saryev. Your center referee, Mr. Khalis Usmanov.
Final 30 seconds or so of this contest. Nothing separating these two on the scoreboard, but the only thing that separates them is the Shido count. Into the final 15. Mate, I think, about to be called, but Martinet continues to work, tries to manufacture something, can't do it. Into the final 10 we go.
Now up, mat number 3, 73 kilograms, semifinal match. In the white from Kazakhstan, Tarzan Daudet.
Final throws of this one. And that'll do us. An enormously close fight. And we go to golden score. So Wazari wins it. Judo from Tashin will be decisive as well. Martinet continues to work. Is this the moment? It is. Wazari for Sanshri Martinet. And in the first 11 seconds of golden score, what she was seeking for the whole 5 minutes of the contest, she eventually finds. Sanshri Martinet advances through to the final to take on Li King. What a contest that promises to be. Cannot wait for that one. We're going to have some repechage contests in the 66 kilo division coming up for you very shortly. First up, making their way to the mat, Jingxin Ma of China and Recep Çiftçi of Turkey. Çiftçi eliminated close to the finish of the 66 category, beaten by David Korava in the quarterfinal. Jingxin Ma. China, meanwhile, didn't quite make it that far. It's Çiftçi who's on top at the moment, physically at least, in the blue gi. Looking, I think, to lock in a choke here. That's lovely work from Çiftçi, but couldn't quite secure himself the point. Good defense from Ma Jingxin.
This afternoon at 3:30 we will hold the final and the repechage finals.
Oh, brilliant from Çiftçi. Look at the strength of the Turkish athlete. Gets himself a Wazari for his efforts. He is so strong. I've seen him have a couple of contests already on this mat this morning. Usually fights a weight division lower than this. So you can see there's quite a big height discrepancy between the two, but goodness me, Çiftçi is strong. Once again, the referee stands the two up. 2.5 minutes remaining of this repechage contest, and that is all we're going to have because Çiftçi has claimed his second Wazari for Ippon, and the Turkish judoka will advance through in the repechage here in Fort Wayne at the expense of Jingxin Ma of China. Continuing the repechage then.
In the white, from Spain, Luis Gavian Lorenzo. In the blue, from the USA,
We have
Marlon Lopez.
Marlon Lopez in the blue gi.
Your center
On
referee
the right of the
this
picture,
contest,
he's up against Luis Gavian Lorenzo. He's in the white gi.
and your winner, at number 3 in the white from Kazakhstan, Tamerjan Daoud.
Luis Gavian was the bronze medalist in the European Championships in this division.
Next up on mat number 3, 73-kilogram repechage matchup in the white from China, Wu Kim. In the blue from Spain, Alvaro Gavian Lorenzo.
And a bit of a worry here for Marlon Lopez, who's
Contest, Mr. Lenson Godoy.
feeling his right leg. Seems to be stretching out his knee. Still limping on it a bit here, Marlon Lopez. And Luis Gavian Lorenzo is going to take the victory there. Marlon Lopez not enjoyed a good last two contests. Beaten in rapid fashion in the quarter-final, and his first repechage matchup ends in some discomfort and a defeat to Luis Gavian Lorenzo.
Next up on mat number 1, we have a semi-final matchup in the 52-kilogram division. In the white, from Ukraine, Ina Cherniak. In the blue, from China, Li Yongqing. Your center referee, Ms. Iona Babu. Now up, mat number 2, 66-kilogram repechage matchup. In the white, from Argentina, Eduardo Gauto Gallegos. In the blue, from the USA, Robert Tanaka.
Here we go with our next repechage matchup. Robert Tanaka in action again. We've seen him a few times already this morning. Been mightily impressed with the American. He was eventually beaten in his quarter-final after a great run through by Georgi Khamzashvili of Georgia. But up until that point, he's looked fantastic. And in truth, even during that contest, he really gave Khamzashvili a difficult matchup. Tanaka have been really impressive in this one, in this competition.
Special thank you to our store sponsors, Parkview Sports Medicine, Summit City Chevrolet, and Ambassador Enterprises. Make sure that you keep up the social media posts using hashtag IBSA Fort Wayne
Tanaka remaining busy. But no way through Gauto Gallegos' defences. Both of these judoka trying to control the direction of the contest. Been a grinding, strength-sapping period of stand-up here. It ends with no points for either judoka. .90 left of the contest then, here in the 66 kilo division. Repechage between Eduardo Gauto Gallegos of Argentina and Robert Tanaka of the USA. Still nothing between these two judoka. Tanaka now has a Shido to his name though. These two have largely cancelled each other out. .30 remains. And we are still as you were between Tanaka and Gauto Gallegos. Robert Tanaka with some fantastic ground game there to get himself on the scoreboard right at the end of that contest against Eduardo Gallegos, who is disappointed. It was late, but it was great from Robert Tanaka, who advances in the repechage.
And your winner on mat number 3, 73-kilogram repechage match, was from Spain, Alvaro Lorenzo. Don't forget our finals matchups will be this afternoon at 3:30. You don't want to miss it. Now up on mat number 3, 73-kilogram repechage match in the white from Georgia, in the blue from Brazil, Juan Pimentel. Your center referee.
So we should have one more contest coming up for you in the repechage here for the 66-kilo division. And here come the athletes onto the mat. Shulansuk Galbrak of Mongolia and Azamat Turumbatov of Kazakhstan.
Now up on mat number 2, 66-kilogram repechage division in the white from Mongolia, Judo. In the blue from Kazakhstan, your center referee, Mr. Banano Hiroyuki. And your winner on number 3, Wei Kong from Georgia,
Turumbatov, the higher ranked fighter, he came into this competition seeded number 4. Shulansuk Galbrak, number 32, by contrast. But he looked impressive, Galbrak, in his contest so far.
this morning. We'll resume at 3:30 this afternoon with the finals matches.
And that is the ippon for Turumbatov. Beautifully done by the Kazakhstani athlete.
Your winner on mat number 1 in the blue from Spain, Borja Hisa. We want to remind you all that you need to turn in your team registration by 3 o'clock today. 3 o'clock today.
And that will do us
You must turn in your
for now from tatami number 2.
winner on mat number 2, 66-kilogram repechage match from Kazakhstan, Azamat Turumbatov.
For this morning's preliminary contests. Some really, really good matchups in the women's 48 kilo and the men's 66 kilo. And the action is set to continue in the repechages. We return to the 48s with Shizuka Hangai against Carmen Brusic. Japan versus Germany.
Your center referee, Mr. Janos Kiyamo. Now up, mat number 2, 48-kilogram repechage match in the white from Japan, Hangai Shizuka. In the blue from Germany, Carmen Brusic. Center referee, Mr. Arthur Bando.
Here we go then, Hangai against Brusic. Encouraging words from Brusig's coach in the blue box.
And your winner by Pong on mat number 1, 60-kilogram rapid charge match. In the blue from China, Judo.
Shido goes the way of Hangai. B1 athlete from Japan.
For the team competition by 3 o'clock today. 3 o'clock today is the deadline to register for the team competition. Next up on tatami number 1, 52-kilogram rapid charge match. In the white from Japan, Fujiwara Ioi. In the blue from Brazil, Carla Cardoso. Your center referee, Mr. Faris Luciano.
Busig refusing to be coerced by Hangai. To Shido now for the Japanese judoka.
Finals and rapid charge finals will be this afternoon at 3:30 beginning here, and we will feature the finals blocks. Your winner on mat number 1, 52-kilogram rapid charge match. In the white from Japan, Fujiwara Ioi.
Still a long way to go in this contest. 2:41 and ticking on the clock. Less than halfway through the allotted 4 minutes.
Now up on
Hangai has to last
rapid charge
the
match.
course
In the white from Taipei,
with
Lin Chiao
2 Shidos already to her name.
USA, Cynthia Simon. Your center referee, Mr. Vasily Smolin. This afternoon at 3:30, we're going to be contesting the finals block for the women's 48-kilogram, the men's 60-kilogram, the women's 52-kilogram, the men's 66-kilogram, the women's 57-kilogram, and the men's 73-kilogram medal matches. And we'll have medal ceremonies there, and we invite you all to be here. It'll be a lot of fun, a lot of pomp and circumstance.
And Carmen Brusig now picks up a Shido. And Japanese coach at the back of the tatami here, getting a little bit excited. Urging on Shizuka Hangai. Into the final minute of this repechage matchup. Very nearly the win there for Brusig. Hangai clings on. Hangai just breathing a little heavily. Final 43 seconds. A cry from Hangai to help spur her on. Brusig with a forceful trip. No Wazari forthcoming there.
And your winner in the repechage match on mat number 1, Banyawazo Ipong. In the blue from the USA, Cynthia Simon.
Sehr gut was the shout from the German coach. Very good. But again, still no points on the board. The minute we're heading to golden score. Hangai sticking with her very experienced opponent here. Oh, now then, Wazari for Hangai. 10 seconds left. With just a second remaining, Shizuka Hangai looks like she's going to get one over Carmen Brusig here. And that is that. Shizuka Hangai gets the victory in the repechage. Right at the last over Carmen Brusig. Fantastic performance. And the late Wazari is enough for Shizuka Hangai.
Mat number 2, 48-kilogram repechage match. In the white from Taipei, Lei Thailand. In the blue from Argentina, Paola Gomez Martinez. Your center referee, Dr. Greg Moore.
Our next contest in the repechage is Kailin Lee of Taipei and Paula Carina Gomez of Argentina.
Competitors register by 3 o'clock today to be in the team competition on Friday. The final round today will begin at
Lee working here from the top position. Gomez could be in a little bit of trouble.
If we could have the coach from Thailand coach, if you are here, please see the head table. Thailand coach, please come to the head table.
Gomez staying in it. Lee continues to work. Still absolutely nothing between them here. No Shido, no points. And just as I say that, Kylie Lee picks herself up a Shido. Less than 2 minutes remain. The other two mats here at Fort Wayne are done for the morning. We've still got a few more bouts to come. 4 more in the men's 66 repechage after this one.
And your winner in the 48-kilogram repechage match on mat number 2.
As
From Taipei,
Kylie Lee eventually takes the victory for Taipei. Lovely respect between the two athletes, which is always nice to see.
Don't forget, tomorrow we begin again at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Next up then
The 63, 70,
are our semi-finals in the 66 kilo.
and the 81, 90, 100, and plus 100 kilogram.
Had to wait a little while for these.
That's tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Right now,
David Korava of Ukraine and Munkbat Ajim of Mongolia.
in the white,
1 versus 3
David,
in the seeds.
the blue from
This should be a really interesting contest.
Your center referee, Mr. John Ramirez.
Both enormously talented judoka. Ajim in the blue gi, Karava in the white. Karava's looked immensely impressive so far. But Ajim did get the better of him in Baku in May in their last meeting. First time Munkbat Ajim has managed to beat David Karava in 3 attempts. He eventually got the win at the third time of asking. Karava, the reigning European champion.
Our medal matches and our medal ceremonies. You don't want to miss it. Special introductions of dignitaries. It's 3:30 this afternoon.
Here's the bronze medal in the Rio Paralympic Games as well. Both of these two viper-like speed. First minute is done and dusted. And a Wazari for Ajim. Karava then with work to do. Ajim now on his back. Karava leaves him there. Ajim slow to his feet. Oh, it was a lovely idea from Karava. Mate called. Eyes of Karava are so focused. Real intensity in his stare. B2 athlete. Ajim, B3. Ajim nearly capitalising on a slip by Karava. place in the final awaits either of these two fine judoka. At the minute is going to be Munkbat Ajim of Mongolia. Which would be his second straight win over David Korova. Maybe that gave him a little bit of confidence heading into this contest. Judo apiece, issued by our referee. Korova seems to be dialing up the intensity almost. Still, Ajim's defense exemplary. One Shido, though, for either judoka will be the end of the contest. Both on two. Wazari the way of Ajim. He just needs another. That will win him the bout. This semi-final on a knife edge. Oh, is this the moment? No, Ajim resists. Mate called. Into the final 30 seconds. Oh, this has been so close. Barely anything in it. Ajim nearly throwing Korova there. Wasn't having any of it. 17 seconds remain to the semi-final. And now 6. Ajim is almost there. He's got a lot of encouragement on the far side, teammates and coaches alike. Just has to see out the final 6 seconds, no mistakes. Just the smallest one could hand Korova the victory at this late stage. One second then. Just thought for a moment that Korova was about to produce something. His coach certainly thought so. This is it then. And he holds on. Ajim makes the final. Just. That was close. Probably the closest contest we've had on this mat so far this morning. But it is Ajim who takes the winner by a hair's breadth from David Korova of Ukraine. Who he'll meet in the final is about to be determined. Georgi Khamjashvili of Georgia, or will it be Sergio Ibanez Vanon of Spain?
Next up, mat number 2, 66 kilograms semifinal match.
It's time to find out.
From Georgia, Georgi Khamjashvili. In the blue, from Spain, Sergio Ibanez Vanon. Your center.
Khamzashvili, the second-seeded judoka coming into this competition. Ibanez was seeded number 8. He's the surprise package in this semi-final. But it's not all that surprising, really. He has got a very decent pedigree behind him, as I've mentioned a couple of times this morning. European silver medalist 2 years ago. Was in the 60 kilo division. Stepped up since. Wazari called for Sergio Ibanez. Both judoka here are getting a huge amount of noise being sent their way. Spanish in particular, both coaches and teammates have been incredibly vocal all the way through. Ibanez, a lot of support. You can see him there just in the background, living every single second of it. Get the feeling whoever wins this is going to get a huge, huge ovation. Coaches and teammates living and breathing this contest. Khamzashvili in danger. Wazari called. Ibanez has done it. Much to the delight of the Spaniards in the crowd. Sergio Ibanez Banon advances through to the final of the men's 66 kilo division. To Wazari by throw for Sergio Ibanez. And Hyoki Khamzashvili is eliminated at the last hurdle.
Now up on to Tommy number 2. We have another 66-kilogram repechage match.
Got a couple more repechage matches to come. First up is Recep Çiftçi. Once again, he's in the white this time, and he's taking on Luis Daniel Gavian Lorenzo in the blue. Got Robert Tanaka and Azamat Turumbatov to come after this. Spanish contingent in the spectator gallery still remain. They haven't left. Still very vocal, still very supportive. Both judoka yet to blink so far in this repechage contest. Oh, nearly the moment that decided it. Still no score. Two minutes 43 remain. Spaniards plead for a Wazari call, they're not getting it. It was mighty close though. Çiftçi just at the last second manoeuvred to avoid it. Chipchi has picked himself up a Shida. Oh, now then. Official. A couple of glances at the judges' table. No decision. Once again, the Spanish pleading for the call. That will put their judoka in front. Chipchi's got a good hold of him here. Oh, this is really so nearly a lovely reversal from Gavian Lorenzo. .146 remain. The noise from the Spanish team, absolutely relentless. Oh, is this the moment? It is. Wazari for Gavian Lorenzo. And ironically, the shout changed from Wazari to when there wasn't, to Ippon when it was a Wazari. Never satisfied until they've got the win. There they are. They are right behind their man here. And there's the second Wazari for Ippon, for Luis Daniel Gavian Lorenzo. And that meant an awful lot to his Spanish teammates and coaches, who are absolutely ecstatic with that result. He had to work very, very hard for it, but he just gets the better of Chipchi in the end. Big hug from the coach. And our final matchup of the morning on all three mats will be Robert Tanaka against Azamat Turumbatov, USA versus Kazakhstan, to round out the morning's prelims. At the moment we have Tanaka. We are still waiting on Azamat Turumbatov.
Second call, mat 2, from Kazakhstan, Azamat Turumbatov. Azamat Turumbatov, Kazakhstan, second call, tatami 2.
You might be able to hear in the background, the second call has been made for him. We may be about to see a walkover here for Tanaka, who himself has been terrific. And in fact, we are about to see that result. Tanaka guided out to the middle by our referee.
And the award of Fusugach.
Are we about to see some movie-esque drama at the last moment, just before the result was announced? There's a little bit of confusion here in the hall. Tanaka has left. A dramatic call of wait from the sidelines was issued.
And that concludes our morning matches.
And I think that's going to do us.
3:30 this afternoon, right here at the venue.
If the result is in,
Your winner,
if Turumbatov was planning on competing, it appears he was too late to do so. I can tell you Turumbatov is now inside the venue, but it looks as if he's missed his call, and the official result will stand as a victory for Robert Tanaka. So there's some late drama really here in Fort Wayne to close out the morning, but what a morning it has been. The first session of the VI Judo here at the IBSA Judo International Qualifier 2019 from the Grand Wayne Centre here in Fort Wayne. The finals will be with us in around about 2.5 hours time. We're slated for a 3 o'clock start at present. So do join us then. We cannot wait to join you for the finals from this morning's matchups.